Hello, good evening. My name is Nitsuki Subaru, and welcome to the Lunar Lounge. Get a drink, settle in, and get comfortable. Tonight, we're going to look up at the summer sky and talk about a story that's been told for centuries. A story of two stars separated by the Milky Way who meet just once a year. Tonight, let's talk about Tanabata. Every summer, as the rainy season begins to draw to a close, something rather wonderful starts to appear across Japan. Bamboo branches begin to spring up outside homes, schools, and shopping streets. Decorating the branches are colorful paper ornaments and small strips of paper called Tanzaku, carrying handwritten wishes that sway gently in the wind and carry the countless hopes towards the heavens. This is Tanabata, Japan's Festival of the Stars. Today, Tanabata is celebrated throughout Japan, but nowhere embraces the festival quite like the city of Sendai. Every August, enormous handmade decorations transform the city's shopping arcades into rivers of vibrant color, creating one of Japan's most spectacular summer festivals. We'll return to Sendai later, because behind every wish, every decoration, and every bamboo branch lies a story that has been told for more than 1,000 years. It is the story of two lovers, separated by the Milky Way, who are granted just one night each year to meet beneath the stars. Tonight, I'd like to share that story with you. Long ago, in the heavenly realm beyond the world of mortals, there lived a young princess named Orihime. She was the daughter of Tente, the Sky King, ruler of the heavens. Each day, Orihime sat at her loom weaving beautiful cloth from shimmering threads. She took great pride in her craft, knowing it brought joy to her father. It is said that her work became the robes worn throughout the heavens. Yet despite her devotion, there was something missing. Day after day, she spent every waking hour at her loom. Though surrounded by the beauty of the heavens, Orihime had no time for friends and no chance to fall in love. Seeing his daughter's quiet sadness, Tente began to worry. On the far side of the Amanogawa, the river of heaven, lived a young cowherd named Hikoboshi. While Orihime wove the cloth of the heavens, Hikoboshi faithfully cared for the celestial cattle that grazed among the stars. Like Orihime, he worked diligently day after day. Hoping to see his daughter smile once more, Tente arranged for the two to meet. The moment they met, they fell deeply in love. Before long, they were married, and for a time, happiness filled the heavens. But as their love grew, they slowly lost sight of the work that had once defined them. Orihime no longer sat at her loom, and Hikoboshi stopped tending his cattle. Without Orihime's weaving, the robes of the heavens began to wear thin. Without Hikoboshi's care, the celestial cattle wandered freely among the stars. And slowly, the order of the heavens began to unravel. Tente was heartbroken. Though he loved his daughter dearly, he could not allow the heavens to fall into chaos. And so, he separated the two lovers, placing the broad Amanogawa River between them, and they would no longer be allowed to see each other. Orihime wept for days. Seeing her sorrow, Tente's heart softened. He made her a promise. If she returned to her weaving, and if Hikoboshi faithfully cared for his cattle, then on the 7th day of the 7th month, they would be allowed to meet once again. Determined never to be separated again, Orihime returned to her loom, while Hikoboshi once again tended to his cattle. Before long, harmony returned to the heavens. The robes of heaven were woven once more, and the celestial cattle grazed peacefully among the stars, and all was as it had once been. At last, the promised day arrived, the 7th day of the 7th month. But there was one problem. Between them flowed the Amanogawa. There was no bridge. Once again, Orihime began to cry. Seeing Orihime's tears, a flock of magpies gathered along the banks of the Amanogawa. Spreading their wings, they formed a bridge across the river, allowing the two lovers to meet once again. The magpies promised to return on that same day every year, allowing Orihime and Hikoboshi to reunite for one precious night each summer. It is said that when rain falls on Tanabata, the river swells too high for the magpies to cross. In those years, the lovers must wait another year before they can meet again. Even today, if you look up into the summer sky, you can still find the two lovers. Orihime is represented by the bright star Vega, one of the brightest stars in the constellation of Lyra the Lyre. Across the Milky Way shines Hikoboshi, represented by the bright star Altair in the constellation of Aquila the Eagle. Separating them is the broad band of the Milky Way itself, the Amanogawa River. Every summer, these two brilliant stars dominate the evening sky, quietly reminding us of the story that has been passed down through the generations. But while the legend explains the heart of Tanabata, the festival itself has a story of its own. Like many traditions in Japan, Tanabata wasn't created all at once. Instead, it was woven together over centuries from several different traditions. Long before Tanabata became the festival we know today, Japan had an ancient Shinto purification ritual held around this time of year. During the ceremony, shrine maidens known as Tanabatsume wove sacred cloth on a special loom called a Tanabata. The cloth was then offered to the gods, praying for purification, protection of the rice crops, and a bountiful harvest in the coming autumn. During the Nara period, another tradition made its way over to Japan from China. It was the star festival known as Qixi, celebrated on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month and telling the story of the weaver girl and cowherd. One of its central ceremonies, known as Kikkoden, encouraged people to pray for greater skills in weaving, sewing, calligraphy, music, and the arts. As the festival became established within the Japanese imperial court during the Heian period, these customs gradually blended with Japan's own weaving ritual. During the Edo period, Tanabata became one of Japan's 5 seasonal festivals known collectively as the Goseku. As Shichiseki no Sekku, it grew into an important annual celebration throughout the country. Over time, these traditions blended together with the legend of Orihime and Hikoboshi, eventually becoming the festival we now know as Tanabata. Even the name Tanabata reflects this remarkable blending of traditions. The festival is written using the characters for 7 evenings, which are ordinarily read as Shichiseki. Instead, these same characters came to be read as Tanabata, borrowing the name of the earlier Shinto weaving ritual. Today, every bamboo branch, every paper decoration, and every handwritten wish carries a thread of this history, a tradition woven together from ancient rituals, Chinese folklore, and centuries of Japanese culture. Just like the cloth Orihime is said to have woven, Tanabata itself has been woven over centuries. One tradition, one story, and one generation at a time. Although the festival has changed over the centuries, its spirit remains much the same. Every summer, families, schools, and communities across Japan come together to celebrate beneath branches of bamboo adorned with colorful paper decorations. Bamboo has long been regarded as a symbol of strength and resilience. Growing tall and straight towards the sky, it is said to carry people's wishes up to the heavens. The most recognizable of the Tanabata decorations are the Tanzaku, small strips of colored paper on which people write their wishes. Some hope for success in their studies, others pray for good health, happiness, and prosperities, and some people simply wish for well-being of those they love. Once written, the Tanzaku are tied to the bamboo where they flutter gently in the summer breeze. Traditionally, Tanzaku are written on 5 different colors of paper, each representing one of the 5 virtues of ancient Chinese philosophy. Blue or green symbolizes growth and compassion, red expresses gratitude, yellow represents trust, white stands for duty, and black, or more commonly purple in modern festivals, represents wisdom. Originally, these wishes focused on improving one's skills in sewing, weaving, and the arts. Today, they have grown to include almost every hope imaginable. Alongside the Tanzaku, many other decorations can be found, each carrying its own meaning. Whether written by a child dreaming of the future, a student hoping to pass an exam, or someone wishing for the happiness of their family, every Tanzaku tells a small story. Together, these stories become another thread woven into the long history of Tanabata, connecting the hopes of today with a legend more than 1,000 years old. While Tanabata is celebrated in communities across Japan, perhaps nowhere is the festival more closely associated with than with Sendai, the largest city in the Tohoku region. Unlike many parts of Japan where Tanabata is celebrated on July 7th, Sendai continues to observe the festival closer to the traditional lunisolar calendar. As a result, the city's celebration takes place each year from the 6th to the 8th of August. During this time, the city comes alive as millions of visitors gather to celebrate one of Japan's most spectacular summer festivals. The festival's history stretches back more than 4 centuries to the time of Date Masamune, the first lord of the Sendai domain. Over the centuries, the festival has endured wars, disasters, and times of hardship. It has long been celebrated as a prayer for a good harvest, prosperity, and the brighter days ahead. Even during difficult periods of history, the people of Sendai continue to celebrate Tanabata, finding hope beneath its colorful decorations. One of the defining features of the Sendai Tanabata Festival are its beautiful Nanatsu Kazari, or 7 decorations. Each decoration is handmade from colorful washi paper, often taking weeks or even months to prepare. Although every design is unique, each carries its own symbolic meaning. The Tanzaku carry handwritten wishes for learning, self-improvement, and a brighter future. The Kamigoromo or paper kimono pray for protection from illness and the continued process in sewing. Folded orizuru or paper cranes are symbols of longevity, peace, and family safety. The kinchaku, shaped like a traditional purse, expresses hopes for prosperity and good business. The toami or fishing net prays for abundant harvest and plentiful catches. The kuzukago, a paper wastebasket, reminds us to live with gratitude and avoid waste. Finally, the long flowing fukinagashi streamers represent the threads woven by Orihime herself. In Sendai, these streamers are often suspended beneath colorful kusudama, ornamental balls inspired by the dahlia flower. Each decoration is created by hand, often over the course of several months. Yet despite all the preparation, their designs remain closely guarded secret until the morning of August 6th, when the shopping arcades are transformed almost overnight into rivers of color. Walking beneath these decorations, it's difficult not to feel connected to the countless people who have celebrated Tanabata before us. Every streamer, every folded crane, every handwritten wish becomes another thread woven into a tradition that has continued for centuries. Each summer, the people of Sendai add another chapter to a story that is still being written beneath the stars. Every decoration hanging from a bamboo branch carries someone's hope. Every wish written on a strip of paper is a quiet expression of optimism. And every summer, when Vega and Altair shine brightly across the Milky Way, people look up at the night sky and remember the story of Orihime and Hikoboshi. Whether the two lovers truly meet is something each of us can decide for ourselves. But perhaps that's beside the point. Because for more than 1,000 years, Tanabata has reminded us to treasure those we care about, to take pride in our work, and never lose sight of the hopes we carry with us. And perhaps, on a quiet summer evening beneath the stars, that's a wish worth making. After all, even after long separations, difficult times, and years of waiting, hope is still worth holding on to. So the next time you find yourself beneath the summer sky, take a moment to look up. Find Vega shining brightly in the east. Look across the Milky Way to find Altair. Between them flows the Amanogawa, just as it has for countless generations before us. Whether you see two lovers waiting to meet, or simply two brilliant stars, I'll leave for you to decide. Because perhaps the true meaning of Tanabata isn't found in whether the story is real. It's found in the hope it inspires. Over the centuries, stories, traditions, and hopes have all been woven together into what we now call Tanabata. And every summer, as another wish is tied to a bamboo branch beneath Vega and Altair, another thread is woven into the story of Tanabata. As the sky brightens and a new day begins, I'd like to thank you for spending this moment with me. Rest easy, and I wish you all clear skies and calm nights.